Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the High Value Agent Podcast, where we inspire people to create a better life through real estate. And I am going to break down for you guys something very critical considering the time that we are in. Are you prepared for the next market? The next market. Now, if you've not been keeping up with the trends nationwide and locally, I'm here to tell you it's getting tighter. The pie of business is getting smaller. Here in our local market, home sales are down 10% year over year. And guess what? The year before that, home sales were down roughly 5 to 10% year over year. And then guess what? The year before that, home sales were down. So what we've been finding is over the past 3 years, the pie of business has continued to shrink. Okay, we're in a contracting market. And when you find yourself in that type of market, you have to be able to pivot and or do more of what is working. Here's the problem. Most people have been not doing the activities that actually garner business. And now that it's becoming tougher to do business, they don't know how to pivot. They don't know what to do next. And now we're in a situation where 70% of agents don't sell a single home in 2024. Okay. And we're probably going to see a very similar result in 2025, considering, again, the pie is shrinking. So are you prepared for the next market? Are you doing what you need to do to build your business to have a duplicatable, profitable, and sustainable business, despite what is happening in the economy, despite who the president is, despite what's happening around you? Do you have a business plan and the discipline to execute that plan that's going to garner the results that you want? Believe it or not, there is a shift 1000%. Now, I hope that you understand when you are a real estate agent, you are now a business operator. You're running a business. And one of the biggest leading indicators to pay attention to at all times are going to be your conversion rates. Okay. We use a very high level system to track all of our data within our business. All the business operations is ran out of Sisu. Okay, that is what we utilize. And we're able to track all of our leading measures and all of our lagging measures. Most agents are only paying attention to the lagging measures. A lagging measure could be how many closings you have, or how much money you have in a bank account, right? Leading measures are what you need to pay attention to: conversations, appointments set, met, signed. Those are the leading measures that you want to pay attention to. Now, for our team, over the past year and a half, 2 years, we really made a push on conversations. How many 2-minute conversations are we having per day, per week, per month, per year? Okay. Conversations are shifting. So not only how many conversations are we needing to be able to sustain or grow business during uncertain times, but what type of conversations should we be having? Those are two different things. Whenever there's a shift, whenever there's a new market, conversations and the way people think change. Okay. People have new concerns, new questions. You may have buyers that are uncertain, but on the flip side, conversely, you may have sellers who are extremely confident. And they're all in one market, right? You got uncertain buyers and overconfident sellers. And then, depending on what the market is, maybe that's flipped. You have very confident buyers and uncertain sellers. Okay. The market that we're in, I think now we're having more confident buyers. There's still some uncertainty with certain buyers, but I think we're starting to have a little more confident buyers, and we still have overconfident sellers. We have buyers that are seeing in our local market the inventory increasing and they have more options, which means their offers may not be as high or crazy as they used to be because they know if I don't get this house, there's one down the street that I like as well. Right. But then you have overconfident sellers who they know based on it being in their neighborhood what their neighbors' homes are selling for. And they can see that number because it's public information. And they're like, you know what? I know my home's better than that, better than my neighbor's home. So I'm going to put my home on the market for 15 grand more. It's a real thing. This is a real challenge because being a real estate agent, now you need to know what type of conversations do I need to have to lead the client to a desired result, right? But let's go back. How many conversations do you need to have? What I noticed on my team is at one point we needed to have 52-minute conversations to get a closing. And since the shifts have been happening over the years, that's now jumped up to 77 conversations to get a closing. So we understand that our business did not have to change. As a matter of fact, we could still increase our production by just simply having more high quality conversations, right? But if you don't have that data point, how do you know what you need to do? How do you know what shifts you need to make or pivots you need to make? There's more clarity in our business because we track that stuff. Okay. So number one, understanding there is a shift in the market, period. The business pie is contracting, it's getting smaller. Okay. It doesn't mean your business has to go backwards. We've actually increased our market share by a pretty good amount. I would say we last year over year, so 2023 compared to 2024, our overall production increased by 47%, almost 50%. This year, 2025 compared to year to date 2025 compared to 2024, we are trending 21% increase in production year over year. So we're doing better this year than we did even last year at this time, which is beautiful. That's what you want in your business, especially in a time like this. Because write this down. The champions are created during uncertain times. When there is a down market or uncertainty in the market, that's an opportunity for people like you, for a team like us, to gain more market share. And now when the market shifts back in favor of for us, business wise, guess what happens to our market share? It skyrockets. Okay. That is why being prepared for the next market is so important. The market that we're currently in, and moving forward, the market will continue to shift as things in the economy, recessions, interest rates go up and down. Things will shift because a simple mindset shift for the consumer completely shifts the entire market. Okay, understand that. So, with that being said, there will probably be more expired properties, more failed sales that are going to be upcoming, more fall throughs in deals due to maybe you have more logical buyers these days and less compromising sellers. So if you can't come to an agreement in a transaction, a deal falls apart. Now you create more emotional agents freaking out in the chaos. And when that happens, more deals fall out. Okay. So as a real estate professional, as a high value agent, you got to have the skill set to control and manage your emotions first. Number two, manage the client's emotions. Number three, be able to manage the emotions of the cooperating agent, the other party, helping them manage their emotions. So now you have multiple people that you, as an authority in the real estate community, you have to help manage multiple emotions with multiple people in order to get deals done. And the issue is most of us don't have that skill set because we can't even manage our own emotions. But I guarantee you, you've had deals recently with other agents, or maybe you are this agent where that agent was a little more high strung, had a little more urgency to get a deal done, or to get an offer accepted, or to hear back from you as you're reviewing offers with your seller. Like you've probably have experienced up to this point another agent who seems a little more high strung, a little more stressed out. Or maybe again, you're that agent. Again, that is a sign of how tough it is in the market. Okay. So you must stand up to be that high EQ real estate agent. That's a high value agent. Another thing, you have to make sure that you're educating yourself. Yes. So please, Keep It Current Matters is a great resource. Read, learn, internalize, okay? Be able to use data points in your conversations when you're talking to your clients. Very important. But what I want to warn you of is consuming negative information, watching the news. It's all negativity, right? You need to stay away from that as you're going through your journey in your 2025 journey of being prepared for the next market. Consume more data information to make sure that your level of competency is at an all-time high, while removing yourself from negativity. And that could also mean not hanging around. Look at your environment, not hanging around certain people, whether it's in business or in your personal circle. Yes, I said it. Okay. So let's talk about how do we position ourselves a little more. Like let's elucidate on that a little further. Okay. How do I position myself for the next market? Do not fight with the consumer, because when you're having conversations with people who are potential buyers and sellers, they may say things that you do not agree with, and they could be completely wrong. It doesn't mean you fight with them verbally or debate. We're not in that type of business, okay? We're not lawyers. What we want to make sure we do is we educate and inform while continuing to build trust and rapport as much as possible with that person. So it's impossible to do that if you're fighting with the consumer, unless you already have a very strong relationship with that potential client. Then maybe you can get away with it. But for the most part, we got to make sure we're not fighting with the consumer. Okay. Then we have to be understanding of the consumer. The urgency that a buyer may have right now may not be that high. Okay. May not be that high. Further, when you go into dialogue with these potential buyers and sellers, I don't want you to go into sales mode immediately. I don't want you to go into trying to convince a buyer to buy today, or convince a seller to put their home on the market today. Here's why. Be careful with that. Conviction over commission. Make your deposits, right? Contribution over commission. Contribution, making your deposits, meeting them where they are at, okay? And having empathy and having patience, okay? Do not go into sales mode immediately. Let's move that to the side. We need to be able to have genuine conversations with people, slowing down, identifying what their concerns are, what their problems are, digging deep, and then helping prescribe a solution by giving information that will benefit them. Whether they are ready to make that transition into buying or selling or not, we will honor that and support them no matter what their time frame is. We will move at their pace. Make them understand and feel that from you. Because if you don't, I promise you, you will lose clients and you will suffer in this next market. Okay. Do you want to know why this is a problem for a lot of people? real estate agents and humans in general hate to be rejected. We hate it, and that is okay. We're human. We hate getting rejected. Now, we get rejected because they feel rejected. And what I mean by that is they feel like you're rejecting their feelings and their concerns and their questions because you jump into sales mode and you're not being a great listener and you're not moving at their pace. So when they feel rejected in that way, they reject you. So what I want you to do in your conversations, I want you to repeat and approve, or repeat and affirm. I want you to utilize a form of NLP, which is called level shifting, okay? And educate positively. Have optimism in your voice, right? Smile when you talk. Be there as a guide, not the hero. Here to tell you. And I know this because we're going to help 275 families, maybe 300 families this year. And that's a lot of people to help. I'm here to tell you, buyers or just clients in general, they want us to meet them where they are at. Meet them where they are at, and they will follow us to where they need to be. Okay. And the foundational belief when you're having these conversations is you are going to be solution oriented. Always have solutions or be solution based. In other words, that helps you think from a more positive state of mind. You're always looking for a solution. They got a problem, be solution based. Okay. Now, I want you to ask yourself to position yourself for the next market. Do you believe that your current habits support your growth in the next market? Do you believe that your current habits actually support your growth in the next market? What habits, here's another question, because we need to identify what habits have we formed that we just need to get rid of, we need to stop. And then what habits do we need to start forming or having? The easiest thing to look at is what do I need to stop doing? Because if you're constantly doing something, and obviously it's not helping you get the highest return on your time and your investment, which is your time, and there are other things you could be doing that require building habits that could get you a higher ROI or ROT, we need to look at the things we need to stop doing. Because typically we're doing too many things that do not move the needle forward. Like, for example, I was having a conversation with an agent on our team, and we're about to roll out this new marketing suite. Okay. This marketing suite for our company is huge because it's going to have an entire marketing platform for our agents to log into, and everything is branded for them. They don't have to go into Canva and create. It's all for them already. And we're talking hundreds and hundreds of different things. You can do postcard marketing. You can, all of it is literally at their fingertips, all provided by the company, right? So we're trying to help our agents be more marketing focused and have the resource to go push out more of their own marketing. And it's all done for them. In other words, it's kind of like having their own marketing assistant, because you can literally, with 3 clicks, have multiple different, what do you call them? Social media posts. And it's very, very powerful. We're making a big investment into this. That's how much we believe in it, right? But I was having a conversation with an agent, and she said it took her, she got an offer accepted. And what I teach is when you get an offer accepted, post about it. Like, people that know you, they want to see you doing well in your profession. So post it on Facebook, post it on social. Let them see that you're a productive, active agent in today's market. And instead of her, like, because we posted as well within the company on our company page, instead of her going from looking at our company page and maybe finding one of her old posts that we made of her with her photo and is branded, she went into Canva and created her own. It took her an hour and a half to do. An hour and a half. Imagine if she would have put that hour and a half into prospecting for another buyer or seller. I guarantee you she would have set 1 to 3 appointments in that hour and a half with our systems and our coaching and our opportunities that we have in our data bank. I guarantee it. But she spent an hour and a half creating a Facebook post, not even a post, but the photo to then post. So she probably invested about an hour and 45 minutes to make one post. Now, again, that time being spent into a money making activity compounded over time makes one hell of a difference in your income. I could promise you that. Now, again, we have this marketing suite that we're rolling out very, very soon that will allow her to be able to have the same or even better post or picture photo that she created in Canva, even better version of that. And she can click 2 buttons and it's ready. It's already created for her, right? Uh, but you may not have that. Are you spending time doing things, wasting hours doing things that aren't going to make a difference in your business? Are there things that you're doing that you would be better off delegating to somebody else to free you up more time to do your core activities? Okay. Because if you want to position yourself for the next market, these are questions you got to be asking yourself and getting very clear on as far as the answer. Okay. So let's talk about some things that you probably don't want to listen to, and you may even log off you may turn off the YouTube video if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, whatever it may be. This is where you may just X out of the podcast altogether, because I'm going to talk about something most people don't like to do, and this is a big reason why. Again, there's challenges in agents' business all across the country, all across the world. To position yourself for the next market, we need to dedicate 3 hours to lead generation. Okay. Now, lead generation means a lot of different things. Lead generation could mean that you are going to do postcard marketing for 3 hours. You're going to get some things, dialed in there. Sure. Lead generation could be you're going to door knock for 3 hours. You could be generating Facebook ads and then sending out messages, right? Based on those ads that you just created and now have pushed out on social. It doesn't matter, but you need to lead generate for 3 hours. Lead generation could be you calling for sub owners or expireds, or calling through your database, or calling your past clients or your SOI. It doesn't matter, but you need for 3 hours a day in your schedule. You need to make sure you're lead generating. Okay. It's going to take more conversations and more engagement from leads to do more deals. So you got to make sure you're doing that consistently, 5 days a week. Okay. If you're doing that for 5 days, that's 15 hours of you pretty much doing the number one needle money maker, or the number one needle mover in your business. That's for 15 hours, which, by the way, that's part time. It's part time. The most important part of building your business is having conversations with people, and you're doing it at a part-time level, 15 hours a week. Okay. Some of us, if we were being honest with ourselves, we're not doing more than probably 5 hours a week, if that. And then we look around, we wonder why we're not where we want to be. Okay. So start there. Start there. And then once you get into that habit, once you're constantly 15 hours every week, like clockwork, you're making those connections with people. only then will you earn the right to be able to kind of step back and look, what do I need to optimize? What do I need to improve on? Okay. Which, by the way, as you're doing this, I do recommend that you put time into practicing the real estate dialogue, like knowing what to say, understanding what a buyer typically has concerns with in today's market, or the seller does, and practicing over and over again how to have that conversation without stumbling and mumbling, being able to articulate your thoughts on around that topic, whatever it may be. So then when you get on the phone call or in front of a client, you're not practicing on them. You actually increase your chance of conversion. Okay. So yeah, definitely have that in your calendar. Have that in your schedule. And you should do that daily. I recommend 30 minutes a day. If you need to do an hour, 2 hours of a practice, especially if you don't have nothing else going on, why not? Like, put the extra work in. But we are in a market that requires intelligence, grit, and taking massive inspired action. Period. Period. Okay. So I mentioned earlier, market share is gained when a shift in the market occurs. That is when you gain market share. You gain market share when there's a shift. You gain market share when there's a shift in the market. So when you look at what's happening with silver lining, there's been a shift over the past couple of years. Has been tight. The reason why we've been able to gain market share is because we did these things, and it's true. We gained market share. There was a market shift, and we did the core activities at a high level consistently. And we weren't perfect. We weren't perfect, you know, but and it wasn't. And just being transparent with you, it wasn't even a whole team. Like, I mean, we have a decent sized team, and I mean, during that time, there was some agents even on my team who suffered. Now, they didn't suffer as bad as like your average agent, but they saw their production drop because they weren't doing the activities that they needed to do. But I'm telling you, there were some agents on our team who won at a high level. There were three three agents on our team that over a 3 month span made 25 grand. There was one agent on our team that in a 3 month period made almost 50,000 or $40,000, $38,000. Okay. There was an agent on our team, brand new, like just a few months into the business, had a month within 4 months of being in real estate on our team, brand new in the business, brand new on our team, made $20,000 in 30 days. 20,000 paid to her after splits and everything, paid to her that hit her account, 20 grand. So if you just take this serious and understand there's such a great opportunity for you right now, and if you generate, meaning lead generate 3 hours a day, if you listen to the people you're talking to and leave a contribution, and then you speak with confidence and you learn, you will also gain market share in this new market, period. Okay. So we're going to wrap it up with this, put a bow on this thing by saying this: don't freak out. Don't pay attention to the headlines. Pay attention to the reality. It's your duty to share the reality of what's happening in the market to the community. Okay. And have integrity. Have integrity. And I'm not talking about like, because you should already have integrity when it comes to conducting business, obviously. I'm not talking about that. But what I mean by when I say have integrity is when you make promises to yourself, keep your promises. If you tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 4:30, and at 5 I'm going to do this, and at 6 I'm going to do this, and you have it all in your calendar, and you make this commitment to yourself, or maybe even to other people, say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Have integrity and follow through. Do what you said you're going to do. Have integrity because that goes hand in hand with confidence. That goes hand in hand with confidence. You can't fake confidence. You can't do it. It shows, especially to a confident person. Like you may be able to get away with it with somebody who's not confident and they can kind of like they don't see it. But if you're around a confident person and you're moving a certain way and saying certain things and like, you know, we could see through that. So you build the confidence by having the integrity. You build the confidence by stacking evidence every single day that you are who you say you are. Every single day, period. Okay. You make your promises and you keep your promises. And that could be to your family as well. Because if you have a family and you're making these promises for you to wake up and go to the office and do your lead generation and do XYZ ABC to grow your business, that obviously is going to benefit your family and you don't do it, then yeah, you don't have integrity and you're letting your family down. You're actually a coward, to be honest with you. And yes, I said it. You're a coward. So we should be having integrity every single day, building the confidence that we need to be able to grow our business, build a business by design, despite what's happening in the market. We don't care because we're doing the activities that are going to help grow our business no matter what is happening. And understanding that confidence without evidence is delusion. So if you want to build that confidence, stack the evidence. Get prepared for the next market. You got it. Just from this podcast alone, very simple stuff, but you got everything you need now. Now it's all on you. You got to take the action. Okay. Now I will say if you have questions, if you need support, let me know. Um, like I mentioned before, there are people on my team. We literally today at our team meeting was celebrating a few agents on our team who within in 4 months already got 15 closed pending. Several active listings coming up. I mean, they're on pace to do 40 plus deals this year. And one of those agents has only been in real estate for 13 months. And so far this year, 4 months in, he has 15 closed pending. And again, he's going to help over 40. He may actually get in the 50s or 60s, depending on if he doesn't take his foot off the pedal this summer. If you need help, if you need additional support, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can reach out to me on any social media platforms, High Value Agent, or my name, Antoine Thomas. Or don't reach out to me, but keep coming back and listening to these podcasts, these episodes, because I make sure that the things that I'm sharing on these pod episodes are what I'm sharing to my team and wins. This is not like, I mean, this is reality. This is not theory. This is like real results that my team is getting. And we're just getting started. And I want to make sure I share that with you guys. But sometimes we need a little more nuance and context. That's when you can reach out. So do not hesitate. So put a bow on this one. I know this is valuable. Go back and re-listen to this one. Um, let's conquer. Let's do our thing. Be strong. Be strong out there. Be powerful. Put the work in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.